Hello and welcome to Sibling Filmalry. I'm Donata.
I'm Reggie.
And we are here in the Bella Boca studio today. Just want to shout out, we do have on our respective university t-shirts. I went to A&T State University, Aggie Pride.
And I went to UNC Charlotte. I always say I graduated from UNC Charlotte because a lot of people went but didn't graduate. So I
Inappropriate.
Yeah.
Inappropriate. So this week, if you don't know, we're from Charlotte, North Carolina, both of us. And last week we had a tragedy in Charlotte. There was an officer-involved shooting here. Officer-involved shooting was very close to my house, very, very, very close to my house. And just seeing the different things that played out in the community, we actually had a movie request to review Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing last month. And so it just seemed like the perfect time to actually review it. And so I want to shout out Rob, the realtor. He asked us to review that movie. And so, big shout out to him for asking us to review it because it's the perfect movie to review in a time like this. And so, definitely condolences to the Scott family and just Charlotte as a whole. We want, everybody to get through the healing process. So we're going to talk about the movie and kind of weave some different things about the protests going on in Charlotte. So what did you think about Do the Right Thing?
I liked it. It was deep. it's funny. I haven't seen it since it came out. It came out in 1989, right?
1989. I haven't seen it probably since 1993.
Yeah, 1989. I was like early teens, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't. Obviously, I was young. I may have been 16, 15, something like that. And I didn't realize the gravity of it. But when I watched it recently, it was either last night or the night before, I saw, the comparisons of what we're going through today. Not just what happened here in Charlotte, but, a lot of places. And it was deep. I kind of saw what Spike Lee was trying to convey. Was that his first movie he ever directed?
I think it is his first movie.
So, I thought it was good. I know it's weird that you say you thought it was good when a movie you've seen before, but it's been so long. I think even seeing it then and seeing it now was good that I didn't see it like over the years, kind of grow. Because I realized the gravity of it, what he was trying to say, and how it's so funny how even way back then, what we're going through today is relayed in that. It's almost like it was a movie before its time, but you can't really say that because it was going on back then too, Right. So it was sad, I thought. I do think that some of the characters were kind of a caricature. Like the one guy, Buggy, or whatever his name is, the guy, Giancarlo, I can't remember what his
So, wait a minute, let's time out. So,
okay.
I just want to say, I am not a huge Spike Lee fan. Because he cuts and zooms in, and one time you're way far away, and another time it's like right in your face.
Mm-hmm.
I can't handle that.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Quentin Tarantino, and not a lot of people can handle Quentin Tarantino. So it's just like it's a producer director kind of preference. Mm-hmm. He has done a movie that I think is beautiful, the one that they break into the bank.
Yeah, that's like his best. That's his best movie.
That movie.
Inside Man.
Inside Man. It's
Like his best movie.
Like,
the rest of them, I'm like her. I'm not really a big Spike Lee person.
Inside Man is probably one of the best movies. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I still didn't figure it out. But anyway,
Right.
So in terms of directing, producing, it's a great movie. Very, very deep message. I've seen that movie 3 times. It was my 3rd time seeing it yesterday, or Monday rather, and I saw it through a different lens. And so let's talk about the characters. So I didn't think none of them was characters. I know a person for every one of those people. They might not do the same things, but they are the same person.
See, I don't know anybody like. I just thought that they went like overboard. Like he was trying to. I think he was just like doing extra to me. Like some of the characters were just extra to me. Like the Latino guys.
They were exaggerated.
Yeah, that's what.
Now they were exaggerated.
Exaggerated. I think. I think the Italian guys were exaggerated. It just made it to me the way he portrayed is like everybody's like that, and I just don't. Instead of saying the people the way I would have preferred him to portray like this just in this neighborhood, but that people are like this in this neighborhood. But the way to me it seemed like he was saying all Italians are racist, all
everybody was racist.
Everybody was racist.
Everybody
That's
was
true.
racist.
That's true.
But I think so, and I think everybody might be racist to an extent, and you might be at home going, no, I got white friends, or I got black friends, or I got whatever. I think that sometimes even if you're, you know, you might feel a certain way against a different group of people, and that people could be a LGBT community or a woman or babies. Some people don't even like to hear babies screaming in airports, and that's being discriminatory against a certain group of people, because you might see a mom like, why don't they make the kids shut up, and like that's being discriminatory. So I think like it opened up my eyes to a lot of things. So here we are where you got Mookie taking 5 breaks throughout a work day. He didn't talk to his friends. He didn't took a shower. He didn't went to see his girlfriend. Like, bruh, go to work. Take your 15 minute break.
That's what I'm saying.
And then go home.
Okay, so then all black people are like that. You know what I mean? I mean that's what I'm saying. Just
right.
I just didn't appreciate that. But I think that there was a message behind that too.
Right.
Maybe like all black people aren't like this, or something to that effect. I don't know. Maybe he was going for a reverse. I'm not sure, but it just seemed like every culture, even the white gentleman that was walking his bike, he was like overly done in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like the Asian people who were in the store. It's just like a stereotype. Like everybody was a stereotype in the movie.
But I think that you have to play that stereotype to live in that existence, so you can see how ridiculous it is.
That's what I think. Yes, exactly.
To not like a different culture because they're different than
right.
you. And so let's talk about the older Italian son that didn't want to be in that neighborhood anymore with his father's business. He wanted to be in his Italian neighborhood, but he couldn't appreciate the fact that all the people around him basically had paid for his clothes, paid for his school, and his dad had made money being in that community. And his dad appreciated the fact that, you know, he watched some of these people grow up. He knew these communities, he knew the people, and so he appreciated that or whatever. But I think, like, that was an interesting point. Like, he didn't see the bigger picture of, we built something here, right? Just like, you know, the black people in the movie didn't appreciate that they had built something and they tore it up.
Exactly.
I own my own business, and I'm telling you right now, I ain't never tearing down nobody's business, because I done worked blood, sweat, tears up in here. And so, you know, I'm not ever going to tear down somebody's business, because it takes so much away from your family and away from your own life. And so, you know, if you haven't owned something, and it's sad that that's an experience that a lot of people haven't had, you don't know what it takes. And so it's so easy to throw a trash can through a window, because you ain't paid for that window to get put up.
And let me ask you about that. What was his purpose behind it? It didn't make any sense. It did not make any sense. Okay, so you know, okay, just maybe it's just because I'm older, but walking into a restaurant, first of all, demanding that they put a picture up in there you don't have any right to ask somebody that in their own business, for one. And two, walking into a business establishment with a loud radio, how is what's his name, Tony? Or what was the father's name? I can't remember. But Al, wasn't it, something like that. How is he wrong for telling them, look, you get your own restaurant, you can put whoever you want on the wall, and you've been eating here anyway, you know, and I treat you with respect. And if a guy walks in with a radio and it's his establishment, what's wrong with telling them you cannot do that?
So I was fearful about doing this review, because it was just like, you know, what is the right thing to say? What is the overall message? And what I figured out was the overall message is treat people like how you want to be treated. If I'm in my black business with my black leaders up on my wall, and you Italian man come in my business and tell me to put some of your Italian leaders up on my wall, you're going to have an attitude. So if you have an attitude with me about that, then don't ask him to do the same thing. Or if you think that's important and you think it will build the community, then ask in a way that is not offensive to him. Hey Sal, can we talk about maybe putting up a couple of pictures or a couple of things and have a conversation about it? I think it'll be uplifting for the community. Maybe we can have some talks or something like that. It's all about, to me, how you approach people and how you come at people. Because I feel like he seemed to be open. He gives, the little mayor some money to come sweep the stoop.
Mm-hmm.
He supports the guy that was a little off and colored on his Malcolm X pictures and things like that. So, and it's just it's always like, and so in the end of the movie, of course, is a quote from Malcolm X, and it's a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And it's just it's always like we are all in this hole of should we do it the Martin way or should we do it the Malcolm way? Should we be reckless and I don't care, I'm gonna get my way and I'm gonna do this, or should we walk in love and in peace? And I just think that at the end of the day, if you approach me how I would want to be approached, or vice, like if you're approaching me, just treat me how you want to be treated. Treat people how you want them to treat you. And if you think it's gonna be disrespectful or whatever, then don't approach that person like that. So that goes for a police officer holding a gun up against somebody's face, and yelling and screaming at them, or that goes to a person that is telling a police officer, get out of here, get out of my face, you don't know me. It's like one all in the same to me. Like, just come at somebody how you want to be come at.
Right. And the thing people have to realize too, and is that anybody, a police officer, a preacher, anybody, they're just people. They're all just people. You know what I mean? So, you got good ones and bad ones, and that's true. And then, I'm not defending anything anybody did. I'm not. I have my own thoughts on the whole situation. But like Donata said, there is right and there's wrong, and there really is no gray area in my opinion. I think there's and I think most people know what right and wrong is. So if it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. I don't have any problem with people speaking out if something's wrong, but I don't think that it helps if you protest with violence against violence. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm sure you do. I think there's just different, better ways you can do it. I just don't think there's ever any room to hurt another person to try to get your point across, because you're not any better than anybody else. Than probably what you're protesting against anyway. That's just the way I feel about it. I have no problem with protest. I think if you feel strongly about something, this we talked about it in the Snowden thing. If you feel strongly about something and have conviction about it, that's what makes America great. In my opinion, on that one of the things, and that's your God-given right. In my opinion, it's your God-given. So you should express it, but you just gotta. I just don't think there's ever any time where you should be hurting another person. I just don't. I don't think there's every time where you need to be hurting somebody's business that they work their tails off for. You don't know what people go through to get that business. I don't know. I get off my soapbox, but I think it's really just easy to me. In my mind, it just makes sense, and I think most people know that. I think when people are doing stuff, they still know that they shouldn't be doing. I think they know that they shouldn't be doing it. They just do it anyway.
So I just say, final thoughts, treat somebody how you want to be treated, and always remember that whoever that other person is, that's somebody else's child. That's a brother, that's a sister, that's a mother, that's a father, that is an uncle, that's an aunt. That is somebody else's somebody. It's somebody else's somebody. And, they got a loved one, you have a loved one, and if we all treat each other with respect, it'll go a long way. So.
Oh yeah, question for you. You probably don't remember, you were really young. Rosie Perez.
Okay.
Back in the day when we first saw the movie start, did you think she could dance?
She was rocking it for the 1989.
I know, so I'm trying to remember if I was like, God, that girl can dance back in the day, because right now I'm like, oh my God. I don't know.
The opening scene of Do the Right Thing is Rosie Perez doing literally a 4-minute dance to fight the power. Number one, I have never seen a 4-minute dance before, ever. Number two,
she looked like she was getting tired too.
She looked like she was getting tired. But more importantly, number three, it was like the whole time, I ain't never wanted to see J-Lo. Because I'm not really a J-Lo fan. But I was like, where is J-Lo? But back then, like she was doing it.
Yeah, I think
she's
back
fun.
then I was like,
but
this
she
girl-
wasn't even dancing. It was more like if she was just stepping.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
so, I didn't know what was going on, but yeah.
I got a big crush on her, by the way.
She's very pretty.
Mhm.
She's very pretty. She, I mean, white man can't jump. I mean, she was the complete eye candy. She's very pretty and really talented actress.
Yeah, she's a good actress. But my final thoughts are the same as the Donna's basically. What she said.
Exactly.
Yeah, what she said.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Oh yeah, you tell me we got a
At
logo?
Sibling Filmalry.
Okay, we talk about it.
What? Oh, we have a logo. It's getting launched and it'll be a whole big thing. He can't keep no secret. Bye.